Okay, we are live. Welcome in. I am the real underscore G Warner, going to go through midweek soccer action as we've got a bunch of leagues trying to make up some games, plus some cup stuff going on with no Champions League or continental play. I'm going a little quieter because I'm in some sort of ridiculous hotel in Madrid that seems to have 17,000 rooms. And sorry for the 50th episode of betting the pitch that I didn't have a better background than this deer behind me, but that's what we got, and that's what we're going with. And without further ado, let's start with the Carabao Cup because that's where the money comes. First match is Chelsea hosting Southampton. Currently, Southampton getting a goal and a quarter. No idea what to expect from Chelsea's lineup here with so many injuries, but I kind of wonder if they have the ability to even rotate or to play their backups, because especially up front, because there are so many injured bodies like Lukaku and Timo Werner, who are probably both likely out for this match. Southampton don't really like the way they play, don't really like their manager style, feel like he takes too many chances for his personnel. Though maybe with better players, he'd be a better manager. I'm just not sure a goal and a quarter is even enough for me. This line seems a little low based on what these two teams are and what they're about. But who knows how much Chelsea cares about this match. I'm sure they care about winning it, but lineup will probably be full rotation of whatever is available to them on the bench. And I guess juxtapose what they need to play this weekend. Next is Arsenal hosting Leeds. Currently, Arsenal giving a full goal with all the juice on the Leeds side. Don't really know how anybody can back Leeds right now. Defense is bad. Strategy doesn't help the defense, and they're not scoring goals. Arsenal is like the perfect team to use their speed, space, and all that sort of stuff to score goals, though clearly they're not my favorite team either. Next is a quick one I'll go through is QPR, Queen's Park Rangers hosting Sunderland, currently giving half of a goal, which seems like a lot, but Sunderland are a formerly proud club that have fallen on very hard times. I guess even their fans are screwing in their seats with screwdrivers. Bring your seat to the game day or something like that. That's already too much. I don't know more to say about that one. Moving to Wednesday's Carabao Cup action, Burnley hosting Tottenham. Currently, Burnley getting a quarter of a goal at home with all the juice on their side. Tottenham, this is a spot for them to probably get some rest, considering they've been playing in the Conference League plus their Premier League stuff. And I would imagine that we see plenty of heavy rotation, but Tottenham's side is definitely deeper than Burnley's. And when Burnley starts to rotate, they get really, really bad because they're not very good in general. They get a lot worse once they start putting their backups in. So at this rate, I'm not sure what to do with this one, but probably going to let that one slide and move on to the next. Leicester hosting Brighton, currently Leicester giving a half of a goal. And this line hints at Brighton resting a ton of players or rotating a ton of players, because there's very little chance that I could see Leicester giving such a big price even at home, considering the way they've played. A midweek Europa League victory or whatever, I'm not sure that does enough to take any of the stink off that team, because there's a lot of it. Brighton got smacked this weekend, but some of it was bad luck, and Man City's one of the best teams in the world, so that sort of stuff can happen, and might even have given us some value on this number if this can climb to a half of a goal. I am a little worried about what to expect from the Brighton lineup. Would imagine Robert Sanchez is off for this one, but ultimately getting half of a goal from a team who's not playing well, that's been decimated by injury, especially in the back line. Definitely interested in Brighton. Next is Preston North End, fresh off a sellout, hosting Liverpool. Getting a goal and a half at home is a lot, especially in a cup match, and Liverpool are sure to rotate. But they are one of the best and hottest teams in the world, and that is not something I want to go in front of. If I didn't want to do it with Atletico Madrid at home, I don't want to do it with Preston North End. Because most situations with soccer bets is you need to feel like you're going to get a draw to win a bet, because the late goals just keep flowing in. There's some room to lose and cover here on Preston, but I'm just not sure it's enough for me. Next is Stoke hosting Brentford. Currently Stoke getting a quarter of a goal with all the juice on the Stoke side. Not a lot of respect for Brentford here. Wonder if that means that they're rotating. There's so much that it's hard to talk about without seeing lineups and stuff, which is going to be hectic because all the matches seem to start at the same time on Tuesday and Wednesday. But ultimately, the Brentford team deserves way better than this. So not interested in backing Stoke at a lesser price than it should be, especially considering they're trying to make the Premier League or whatever league they're in to get out of. So I would imagine that they have some eyes at least split in different directions for this match. Next one is West Ham hosting Man City. Currently, West Ham getting a full goal with all the juice in the City side on the road. Might climb to a goal and a quarter. I'm pretty interested in pretty interested in West Ham, as they're going to play a defensive kind of brand of football. And I think that's going to fit well to Man City because you don't want to give them a lot of space or chances. You want them to really kind of struggle with scoring goals, and then you need to take advantage of your low possession type of situations. That's what's going to happen here. So we'll see what happens. But ultimately, I think West Ham are someone to look at, but also with their European commitments, it's very possible that they do a lot of rotating, and Man City's backups are a lot better than West Ham's. So that wraps up the Carabao Cup, at least from lines that are currently available. I think that does catch all of the 16 teams. Going to move next to La Liga because I'm in Spain and currently looking at let's go to La Liga because I totally had this ready before I hit go live on this. First match is tomorrow, Tuesday. Very quick turnarounds for teams that played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and even a match going on that just finished a couple of minutes ago. Alaves hosting Elche. Currently, Elche getting a quarter of a goal on the road, and that's a nice number to back an underdog. Alaves, really until this weekend, their victory, were playing so poorly, but I'm not really sure I want to give them too much credit because their opponent is so bad, and is one of the biggest relegation threats, despite Cadiz being in the league for 2 years in a row. I don't know. Elche, on the other hand, they did some business in the offseason, brought in some scoring, and I think they've got an opportunity to do something here. Alaves could get some confidence from that win for sure, and also did beat Atletico Madrid here at home a couple weeks ago before the international break. But ultimately, Elche as a dog is who I'd be looking at as an underdog player, and Alaves as a favorite is not something you really want to do too much with. Like a fortunate penalty, which didn't make a lot of sense. Cadiz surrendered, conceded, and then another late goal. And I'm not sure that Alaves were really that impressive, despite winning a lopsided match this weekend. Espanyol then hosts Athletic Club, currently Pick'em with more juice on the Athletic Club side. Two good defenses, it seems. And at Pick'em, not much for me to speak about more. Villarreal then hosting Cadiz, currently giving a goal and a quarter. Cadiz they seem like they're destined to have a really, really tough season and look like one of the favorites to go down. Villarreal getting healthier, had a late penalty for a step on a foot situation, which kills me. But I'm not giving them or reducing my opinion of them right now as they're getting healthier. Though the Gerard Moreno injury coming off early in the match on Saturday at Athletic Club does seem to be an issue. We'll see what his availability is, but he might not be able to come back just in a couple days after initially coming back after so long out. Moving to Wednesday, Rayo hosting Barcelona. Currently, Rayo getting 3/4 of a goal, shorter than I think anybody would have expected, even knowing that Messi had left the club. Barcelona's in a really dismal space, but ultimately they're better than Rayo. Rayo haven't been as sharp as they were right leading into the international break, and I think they have some concerns defensively if they gave up 3 goals to Batiste on the road on Sunday. Quick turnaround. Barcelona should be pretty angry from really a match that they could have beaten Real Madrid and losing at home for like the 4th straight time. Pretty tough spot to get them, wounded dog type of situation. But if this keeps climbing and hits 1, I might be a little more interested on the home dog getting a full goal, but not until then. Next is Mallorca hosting Sevilla. Sevilla on the road giving 3/4 of a goal, but all the juice is on Mallorca's side. And I think you need to respect Mallorca defense has played really well coming up from last season, and their goal scoring seems to be an issue, but they did very well this weekend, and we'll see what happens going forward. The problem is Sevilla are not going to give them a lot of opportunities. They're going to keep them pinned in their own end, and Sevilla are going to pass around. If this got to a full goal, I think I'd be interested in backing Mallorca, but until then, I'm not interested. And it looks like it's going to go closer to half of a goal than the current 3/4 anyway. Next is Betis hosting Valencia. Currently, Valencia getting half of a goal on the road. They're in a position where I don't think anybody can touch them. From starting the year off really well with a new physical mentality that balanced their offense, incredible comeback to get a 2-2 draw with 2 goals in stoppage time this weekend against Mallorca. But that's a little bit of Mallorca being unable to close out matches. I'm not sure how much you want to believe in Valencia either at home in that type of situation is a pretty hefty favorite. Betis, their offense is not great. I still don't believe in it, even after watching them put 3 past Rayo yesterday. One was a handball, clearly to me, that wasn't even VAR'd because the Spanish referees at the box and VAR just says don't make any sense to me at this point. They just love goals no matter what, whether they're legal or not. I just don't think Valencia are outside I want to back here, so I'll move on. Real Madrid then hosting Osasuna, currently giving a goal and a half. Osasuna somehow in like the top 4 right now because they played a couple extra matches. Crazy, but ultimately they just want to stay in the league, so good for them. Real Madrid coming off a big victory at Camp Nou and now have to figure out how to step back up, but they've got a lot of professionals in that team that can score a ton of goals off of very few chances. Would imagine that Osasuna plays one pretty tight, so I'm interested in the goal and a half. And I'm not even sure I need more than that. It's just really trying to decide if Osasuna are worth it. They can create chances without a ton of possession, and I like them as a dog, though they've been playing way over their heads where they sit in the table right now. And then the last one is Thursday, Levante hosting Atletico Madrid. I think we were missing one more match, but there's no line for it yet. Anyway, Levante getting 3/4 of a goal at home is probably not enough to back them right now. The change managers, it looked like, at least the match I attended this weekend, wasn't the same bald guy. Paco on the sideline wasn't there. So, and I can't blame them because they've been pretty bad since falling out of the Copa del Rey last year in the semifinals. Atleti aren't looking great. Offense is questionable for sure. They managed a draw out of nowhere in the match this weekend, but there's a lot of pain on both of these sides, and I'm not sure that I want to deal with Levante, who just are conceding so many goals. It's impossible to back them as an underdog right now. Then moving to Serie A. So Italy, same sort of thing where they're trying to catch up. They started the latest of anybody, so they're going to be cramming in matches, it seems. Spezia hosting Genoa on Tuesday. Currently Spezia pick'em, most juice on their side. If that keeps climbing, I'm interested in Genoa. They've been playing really tough, playing hard, fall behind in every match and come back and draw some of them. Not a great sign for them and their hopes to stay in the league or avoid relegation or the relegation battle. But Spezia have not been playing well. They've been trying to play a ton of offense and their defense has been pretty weak, pretty wide open, and that's a big problem. And I think Genoa are better than them and are a team that can take advantage if they're given some space. So I'm hoping that I can get that to 1/4, and then I will be back in Genoa. Venezia then hosting Salernitana, battle of newly promoted. It's currently Venezia giving a half of a goal with all the juice on Salernitana side. It's a real big number for Venezia to lay. 2 recently promoted, but I don't see the huge difference between those two, and would favor Salernitana on a neutral field. So pretty interested in that half of a goal. There's certainly a need for Venezia to get those 3 points at home against one of the worst teams in the league. AC Milan then hosting Torino. Torino getting a full goal right now with all the juice on the Torino side. Might fall off that +1 all down to 3/4, which would be an expensive change. So I think if you want to back Torino, you want to lock in that +1 before it moves. Milan been dealing with a ton of fixture congestion, having a poor start to Champions League despite deserving a lot better and playing really well, but not really getting anything or having anything to show for it. Torino, on the other hand, have been playing pretty well, been losing a bunch of matches 1-0 at the end, which has been brutal. But they're a good team. They're playing with confidence. They've added a bunch of players from all over the European leagues, kind of cast-offs, good players on good teams that couldn't get minutes, and it's been working pretty well for them. So I'm pretty interested in getting that +1, and I want to make sure I don't lose it. Moving to Wednesday with Juve hosting Sassuolo, currently giving a goal and 1/4 on the road. Sassuolo is not good enough defensively for me to want to back them in a situation where I don't think that they can win the match. Certainly could, but Juve, certainly under Allegri, they're playing a lot more defense now and trying to win games 1-0, which certainly would be a cover for Sassuolo. But I worry that Sassuolo is going to have to score goals and going to push to score goals, and their defense is going to be way wide open for this match. Though, obviously, getting a goal in a quarter is he can still lose and cover that. So forever, I'll be looking at that one, but hopefully not too intently. Sampdoria then hosting Atalanta, currently getting 3/4 of a goal. Atalanta just not playing very well this year, unfortunately, but Sampdoria's offense is not good, and their team is really old. I think the oldest in Serie A. So coming off a win, have to then get those legs moving again a couple days later. That's going to be tough. And ultimately, Atalanta, they're going to have to turn this around at some point. It's certainly not something you can back that's just going to happen all of a sudden. But ultimately, I think Sampdoria getting 3/4 of a goal, it's the only way you can look in this match. It's an underdog player, so I'm not surprising anybody by saying that. But ultimately, I think that's the way to go. But we'll see what happens with this number and really what Atalanta puts out there because they're so banged up all over the place. Udinese then hosts Verona, currently giving 1/4 of a goal, which is all the juice on the Verona side. So that's probably coming down to pick them. Verona have been playing pretty well. I like the way they've played the season after they started off pretty poorly. Saw a little bit of kind of respect from the marketplace in Serie A when they played Roma, and it's been they've been deserving of it ever since. Udine as a favorite is something that I'm not really in love with because they are a defensive side that want to counterattack or play compactly. Verona might even win the possession battle here, and getting 1/4 of a goal on that team, no matter how juiced it is, it's pretty juiced right now. But that's an important number to have if you think a team might have more possession. So certainly leaning Verona on the road here. Cagliari then hosting Roma. Currently Cagliari getting 3/4 of a goal at home. Roma, ton of matches lately. Wonder exactly how they are fatigue wise, all that sort of stuff. But they're pretty deep. They've got a lot more talented players. Cagliari have been disappointing and just keep adding cast off older players from in the defense from other Serie A clubs. I'm not sure that's a great winning tradition solution, whatever. But currently Roma with all the juice in their side at 3/4 could climb to a full goal, and Cagliari at home on the island getting a full goal would certainly pique my interest. Empoli then hosting Inter, getting a full goal right now at home. All the juice in the Inter side looks like it's climbing to 1 1/4, and I'm not sure that I want to run in the way of Inter with a newly promoted side. Certainly could catch them with tired legs playing so many matches in a short time, but I'm not sure that's a bet I want to lose. Lazio then hosting Fiorentina. Currently Lazio giving 1/2 of a goal. The Lazio offense is good. Fiorentina's offense still has a ways to go. Their defense, I'm not sure, is that great either. Lazio defense is not good for the type of club they are and should be a lot better. But ultimately, I think 1/2 of a goal is probably fair. And I'm not sure that Fiorentina interests me too much at that number. And then Thursday, we have Napoli hosting Bologna. Napoli giving 1.5 goals. Bologna aren't a dog I want unless they're playing a team that's not very good, that they're better than on the road or something like that. Napoli can name their price here, score as many as they want, and that's not really something I want to get in the way of, to be honest. So that went through La Liga, Serie A, and the Carabao Cup. We have one match in Liga on Wednesday, which is Nice against Marseille. It was a match starting from 0 that was in Nice. They're up 1-0, and then that got wiped off, scrubbed. Now they're playing somewhere, or was it Marseille? Anyway, they're playing on a neutral field in Troyes. Bizarre. Nice is a slight favorite right now. All the juice is on their side at Pick'em, actually, so not much for me to do there. But certainly, if one of these on a neutral field drifts to 1/4, I'll be looking that way. And now, last but not least, is I want to try to get as much of this through this as quickly as possible. I don't know a lot of these teams in the DFB Pokal, but I said I would go through it, so here we go. Of teams that I've heard of before, I'm not really sure. I mean, Hoffenheim giving 1.5 goals to Holstein Kiel, who are in the playoff to get into the Bundesliga last season, didn't win. Cologne ended up staying in the league, and then they sold off some of their players to to Mainz, I believe, and also to Arminia Bielefeld. And so Holstein Kiel probably are not in the same type of league as Hoffenheim. And ultimately, when Hoffenheim win matches, they win by pretty big margins. So I'm not sure even getting a goal and a half on the road is enough to make me feel any sort of comfort, especially in a cup game when you send everything forward if you're losing late. But you do have extra time to follow up back upon, or penalties or whatever. So that's certainly something of interest as an underdog player, but probably not enough for me. Babelsberg, never heard of them. Probably gets smacked by Leipzig. Dortmund plays another team. Anyway, this is silly, but I guess in terms of teams that I know, so Mainz hosting Bielefeld, giving 3/4 a goal, with all the juice in the Mainz side climbing likely to 1. I think everyone's going to play in these matches, so we'll be interested to see Arminia, what their lineup is as they put it out there, because they're certainly need to focus on staying in the Bundesliga. But if they play a full lineup, Mainz also is certainly better, but is going to be looking on trying to keep their legs for the matches on the weekend. And ultimately, the Mainz offense is not great, so asking them to win by multiple goals is asking a lot. So if this climbs to 1, I think I'll be looking at Bielefeld. Bochum hosting Augsburg, currently giving 1/4 a goal with all the juice on the Augsburg side. It's Augsburg's offense is not good. It really isn't. Their defense is not good either. But Bochum aren't really a side that's going to trouble their defense too much. They're going to try to defend, or at least they have been in the Bundesliga all season. I'm not sure if this match has been played yet, but ultimately I think Augsburg are a side to look at, getting 1/4 in a cup game against the newly promoted, getting 1/4 a goal, though all the juice in the Augsburg side. So maybe this will fall to pick them and I won't have to worry about it anymore. Moving through some of these other ones. I guess we're still early in this competition. Hanover hosting Dusseldorf, Pick'em, slightly more juice in the home team. Hanover, not sure I got much there. Stuttgart hosting Cologne. Now that wouldn't be interesting to me if Cologne moved to a dog, but Stuttgart have been so bad and have been so injured and really missing so many important pieces that I'm not sure that'll happen. Gladbach then hosting Bayern München, getting a goal and 1/4. Big number, but I'm not sure that's enough. Bayern are a good team and ultimately are a team that I'm really sick of losing, because when I lose, it's really, really brutal. And so I think I'll probably skip that one, though always interested in a home dog getting more than a goal. But that's usually when really bad teams are taking on really good ones. So that's probably why that's the case. So that's my wrap up of the Carabao Cup, the DFB Pokal, and then the regular season battles in the Liga, Serie A, and also Liga. So you got what you hopefully were paying for, because it's free. Enjoy the deer behind me, and I look forward to doing more of this. Hit me on Twitter at @thereal_G Warner, and look forward to doing 50 more episodes, hopefully with 50,000 listeners or watchers or whatever it's called. Bye.